Have you ever thought to yourself, gosh, I hate all those dating apps. They're just, something's not right about them. And then have you thought to yourself, gosh, I wish I could have a dating app with only MAGA. Me neither. But that's what somebody decided to create. And I want to tell you about how it went. Spoiler alert, not well. Before getting into an interesting story of a woman who, as a test, went on this MAGA dating app. It's called The Right Stuff. Date Right Stuff, The Right Stuff app, something like that. And it's a dating app for just MAGA, for just right-wingers. Because apparently there are just too many liberals on your standard dating apps like Tinder, Hinge, etc. And the spoiler is that it was a complete and total failure. But the story that came of it is really, really funny. And someone who documented their journey on the app, which is what we'll get to. But first, Peter Thiel, the Silicon Valley billionaire, he co-founded with this guy, one of the Project 2025 creators, and Trump administration staff member at some point in time. And his name is John McEntee. And John, to promote this dating app, started posting a lot of social media videos. So before we get into the anecdote of a woman going on this app and documenting her journey, let's introduce ourselves to the founder of this genius app, John. If you appreciate this show, please do click the subscribe button and become a member. Get the members only bonus show. We have lots of fun on it by clicking that join button, the join button below if you're watching on YouTube. So here's an example of the types of videos that he posts on TikTok, as Trump called it.
So I always keep this fake Hollywood money in my car. So when a homeless person asks for money, then I give them like a fake $5 bill. So I feel good about myself. They feel good. And then when they go to use it, they get arrested. So I'm actually like helping clean up the community, you know, getting them off the street.
You know, I realized I had a lot of free time. And so, let's see, I started just kind of figuring out what my hobby could be. And I decided that maybe it could be going around and trying to ruin people's lives. That's sociopath behavior. I know he's not serious, but to think that that's funny is wild. Here's another example.
If you don't own a gun, you don't get to make decisions about gun laws. That's how abortions work.
No. Put simply, no. The funny thing is, the analogy doesn't even make sense, because for it to be analogous, you would have to be the gun, right? Because we're talking about laws being made about women, not. But the guns can't regulate themselves. So I don't know. That phrase also has never been at the core of the argument, because the just nature of a law is separate from who's writing it. And we understand that. It's just an interesting thing to point out that so often people who aren't impacted are the ones crafting the law. Here's another.
Can someone track down the women Kamala Harris says are bleeding out in parking lots because Roe v. Wade was overturned? Don't hold your breath.
Yeah, so it became a trend that people would respond to this with the examples of such horrific tragedies, but he thinks it's oh so goofy. Then one more example, then we'll get on to the core of this story.
America is an idea, then people can do it anywhere, and they don't need to move here. If America is an idea...
If America is an idea, then they can have that idea elsewhere. So are you saying you don't believe that there's something special about the environment, priorities, and principles that characterize this country, such that people who want to dedicate themselves to that could uniquely fulfill that experience in this country? You don't believe in that? Well, that's strange. I thought MAGA was patriotic. Not so much. So now we get into this. That guy, you can imagine, was really good at making an app. And it's called The Right Stuff. And very quickly, Peter Thiel's conservative dating app floundering after 3 months. You saw headlines like that from the Daily Beast. And then you even saw headlines like this that I'll show you an example of from the Independent. The Right Stuff users claim they were contacted by FBI after using the conservative dating app. Oh no, but we'll circle back to that. And then you have this report from the woman that I referenced, Chelsea Ritchell. And it's titled, this is from the Independent, From Fish Photos to MAGA Hats and Guns, this is what it's like on conservative dating app, The Right Stuff. And before getting into some of her reporting, here are some reviews to give you a sense of the issues that quickly arose with the dating app. Someone said, it's a good app, but there's no women. Well, that's a key part for straight members of this app. I love my country. I love the Second Amendment, and I love God. And I love babes. No, he didn't say that. These days, it's hard to find a woman who values my patriotism, my faith. And so after being ghosted by every match on Tinder, I decided to give this app a try. I created my profile, uploaded a selfie of me sitting in my truck with glasses, of course, and it worked great. The interface was intuitive and easy to use. He said that it worked great, but then goes on to say there was no women. That's not it working great if you're looking for women. But the weird thing is, I couldn't find any women on it. I don't know. Maybe the app is. This is so good. Maybe the app is bugged. This must be a glitch. I tried switching my preference to men just to make sure it was working, and loads of handsome men came up. I hope the developers fix this. I love that. He's like, it's so weird. If I looked for men, which is not what I want, but I found a bunch of good-looking men, and they had their what are those glasses, Jaden? Those ones that you would wear to go fishing? Polo. Yes. They have their Oakleys on. They have their truck, and they have their fishing pole. And if I were gay, this dude's saying, we get it on. But I'm not, because I'm on the conservative dating app, so we can't have that. And so instead, it must be a glitch because there's no women. No, I think there's no women because there's not that big of a market of women who are looking for exclusively MAGA dating apps. I think that's a big problem. And then someone's captioned this doo-doo. I'm divorced and waiting for my other allied friends to be divorced, so I can meet some trumpets on this app. Still upset on the exclusion and the strange check for invite system. I'm divorced and waiting for my other allied friends to be divorced. Why are you wishing divorce on other people? You do realize people can date without being divorced. They can just not have been married yet. That's actually most people who are dating. But maybe they're just looking for a divorcee. That's their type. It's hot. Then someone said, do not support this app. Okay. App asks about January 6th. 1 second. Sorry. My keeps happening. Earpiece receptor fell out. Okay. App asks about January 6th. Harmless, right? I said I was there because I'm a patriot. That's why I'm on this dating app. I use this app for hardly an evening, and it's a coincidence I get a call from an FBI agent the same day? Seriously, what stunt are they trying to pull? Whoever developed this has to be a deep state setting us up. I came here to find love, not a warrant. Did he bleep out damn? Not a damn warrant. No, that doesn't match. Yes, it does. Very interesting. But, okay, how do I say this? All right. Listen here, Big Chungus, which is his username. Hey, Big C, listen. If you're looking for hot MAGA women, or you're looking for women at all, I have a piece of advice for you. Don't start your public remarks in that effort by admitting to a federal crime. That would be maybe my first place to start. I don't think that there's too many women out there going, I am just looking for someone who will admit to an insurrection on the dating app. Because he says, I was there because I'm a patriot. So maybe that's what's pushing away the women to answer the previous user's question. If I went on a dating app and people were just admitting to federal crimes all over the place, I'd have a problem. Oh, also, it's not that the deep state created this to catch you. It's that this is what happens when you publicly admit to crimes. My goodness. All right, back to this piece. Sorry, this took a while from The Independent. From fish photos to MAGA hats and guns, this is what it's like on conservative dating app, The Right Stuff. And you can see there, Chelsea Ritchell went on, create a profile, all those sorts of things. And one of the things she came across was that on dating apps, if you haven't used them, they have these prompts so that people, when they look at your profile, can get to know you. And it'll be, what's an experience you've never had? Or where do you want to travel? Or how do you like sex? No, that's not in there. But it says, this one is, what's your favorite liberal lie? And a guy listed his favorite liberal lies. Going to a protest is fun and actually makes a difference. Lol was the first liberal lie. 2, masks work. 3, there are more than 2 genders. 4, global warming. 5, Elon Musk is a bad guy. Why? Okay. Then she goes on to describe, when it comes to the types of photos men on The Right Stuff choose to represent their best selves, it could nearly go without saying that each scroll brought up a new fishing photo with a mid-sized fish in hand. Now, I'm sorry to be stopping so much, but there's just so much here that I'm fascinated by. I grew up in Texas, as I've mentioned, and so I'm no stranger to fishing. And what I'm about to say is not at all meant to invalidate any of our fishers' feelings out there. If you like to fish, good on you. But the times, especially catch and release, the times I've been invited, all right, you have some bro sifs, right, who will say, hey, let's go fish. And I think, all right, there's a lot of rave about fishing. I'll do it. Count me in. And so we go, and you kind of, let's say you go out to some creek or something, or some lake, some pond, and it's kind of hot. And, you know, I'm setting aside a whole day for this. And then I'm sitting on the edge of the water. And I start talking. And they go, shh. You'll scare the fish. So I'm thinking, gosh, this is a weird thing to do as a hobby. It's fun. It's great. Love it for you. But I'm saying for me, my truth is that having to not talk all day while we sit there, but the only thing that I have to look forward to is the occasional, I guess, a beer I could drink. But this was as a kid, so that wasn't happening. And so I have to sit in silence for hours, which normally would be a punishment as a kid. But apparently this is supposed to be fun for me. And then I wait and wait and wait. I'm sweating. There's bugs. And then I catch a fish. Yes. Okay, I see. It's fun. I pull it in. I hold it up. I take the photo with my Oakleys. Yes. And it's really nasty. So I asked someone else to take it off of the hook. Okay, fine. But then they take it off and they throw the damn thing back into the water. What was I doing this for? Oh, it's because it's a catch and release pond. Wait. So this is like me spending all day cooking a fancy meal just to throw it in the trash? What was... I could have been watching. We could have been talking. What is this for? So that's my problem with fishing. But if you like fishing, then awesome. And you could explain to me sort of the intrigue. But I get it if you're fishing and then you eat the fish. That's kind of cool. You like fish, taste the fish. That's cool. All right, continuing. Lots of fish photos, she says, with a mid-sized fish in hand. The same was true for red MAGA hats and men posing alongside Republican fan favorites such as Tucker Carlson, far-right conspiracy theorist Marjorie Taylor Greene, and former President Donald Trump himself. Another commonality is the guns. There are many, many guns on The Right Stuff. Quote, I take pride in the Second Amendment, one individual declared on his profile, before promising he can teach anyone to shoot. Yes, even you. First date? Which, I mean, that's a pickup line if I've ever seen one. Others clarified that the guns proudly displayed in their photos were for hunting animals. As opposed to? Just targets, I guess. With some of the profiles peppered with pictures of deceased deer surrounded by men in camouflage hunting gear. Hot. While attempting to hold a conversation with one user who asked how my week was going, he informed me his week would have been better if he'd been able to go hunting like he'd done the week before. I am absolutely riveted. In response to the prompt, do you agree or disagree that one guy said January 6th should be a national holiday, while another user described the insurrection as a light dust-up. Yikes. Another man who identified himself only by his initials described himself as a pro-freedom patriot who believes in liberty and justice for those who deserve them. I don't think that's how the phrase goes. My initial reaction was that he seemed uninterested in finding a romantic partner. I guess he appeared to confirm with the next sentence. He said, looking to connect with people who want to MAGA. Let me read that again. Looking to connect with people who want a MAGA. Marking the first time I'd ever seen the acronym used in a sentence as a verb. Do you want to go MAGA? We're going to MAGA hard. As for a random fact he loves about America, he said, freedom, that is all. All right, fair enough. And so we do appreciate Chelsea for putting herself through that. And we've now learned a lot. We've learned a lot. Now, to the fishing community, because I know some of you are thinking, I'm never watching Luke again. I am so grateful when I eat fish that the people who go fish the fish, interesting, verb and a noun, they are so necessary for that fish to be on my plate. Of course, I'm saying recreational fishing, where you let it go afterwards, or you don't even do anything with it, and it's just for a photograph, so that you can put it on a dating app, so that only other dudes on the app can see it. And the app is epically failing. As an example, we checked how many reviews on the App Store. It has like 4,000 reviews, I think. And to give you a perspective, a more successful dating app like Tinder has 1.3 million reviews. So not that many people are using the right stuff. And as we've been reading, it makes sense why. Share your thoughts in the comments. Support the show. Get the members only bonus show by clicking that join button below.